How's it going, guys? It's the Peruvian Trucker back with another video, and today we are going to talk about becoming a trainer. Let's get to it. This guy's like looking at me from his truck. So, before I get to the topic at hand, I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Roughly a year ago, September 2021, I was in my first month working for Porsche. I had switched from BMW to Porsche after working as a service technician for BMW for 5 years. And within that first month working for Porsche, I already knew that I was over the car business. I was just done. And I'm not gonna get into the particulars. I'm gonna make a video about my past and point by point what led me into trucking. But for the purpose of this topic and talking about becoming a trainer, I want to give you this background. So within the first month, I knew that I wasn't gonna be a service technician for much longer. I was just tired about a lot of things, and through 2020 and 2021 I had taken multiple road trips. I had traveled to different states with my car because of the pandemic and still wanting to explore and adventure, and I bought a car and I just love driving in general. So taking road trips and driving became an outlet because I was isolated from people through the pandemic. That revigorated my love for driving, and that combined with this need that I had to change careers or to make a drastic change led me to trucking, really. I had thought about trucking in the past, but never this seriously. And within doing research real quickly, I found Prime, and right away, being a company driver was the goal. Not necessarily the goal, but that's what I was shooting for with my switch, at least as a starting point. And the base pay for a company driver was really appealing. It was a little less than what I was making as a technician, but once you factor in, or at least for me personally, when I factored in the fact that I was going to sell one of my cars, I had 3 cars at the time, I sold one of them, and I was going to park the other one in the storage, meaning that I could basically cancel my car insurance for 2 cars, and then, I was going to cut expenses when it comes to, leisurely expenses like going out on weekends and not having to pay for gas. My other car was going to sit. I was not paying for rent. All these things added up to savings that combined with the pay from trucking would pretty much put me in the same ballpark as what I was making as a technician to start. And not only that, but as a technician, it was a really physically demanding job, so I was looking for something that I would really love to do, but was also, let's just say, less physically demanding. Work less, make at least the same, if not more. So that led me to trucking, and that led me to being a company driver, because I had looked into Lease, but lease operators have to worry about expenses and worry about the truck and have those added responsibilities, and I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to, as my trainer would say it, I wanted to be lazy and make money, make at least the same amount of money, and that's why being a company driver was the perfect option for me. Let's fast forward 6 months. It is March 2022. I already have my CDL. I'm waiting for my TNT trainer, and still being a company driver is what I have in my head. I meet Truck Money BG, my trainer. We talked for a little bit in the first couple weeks about, company versus lease. He asked me, he's a lease operator, he's a trainer, and he's like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to go company or are you going to go lease? I'm like, I just want to go company because I really don't want to have to worry about anything. I want to be sheltered by that company umbrella and just, drive. Just worry about driving and not worry about anything else. Literally just enjoy the job. And, he had a lot of valid points for lease. And really quickly, I realized that being a lease operator and being a company driver is literally the same job, like play by play. The only difference is that if there's a breakdown, or the consumables of the truck, tires, brakes, etc., maintenance, the lease owner has to assume, but also the lease owner makes so much more. And other than that, and the title, it's literally the same job. You drive to the same shippers and receivers, you do the same miles, you get the same dispatch, but you make more. And even having this discussion with my trainer, there's a video in the past in his channel when we talked about it, and he asked me, like, after having that conversation and coming to that realization of the money, like I said it on the video. I was like I really just want to be a company driver, but knowing now that it's really the same job, I would be an idiot if I ignore the fact that I can make more money doing the same thing. And so that's what led me to becoming a lease driver. And as you guys know, you've been following me, and I've enjoyed it to this point. And the other thing that was discussed on that video with my trainer and has been in my head to this day is if I was going to become a trainer once I was eligible to become a trainer. Technically, at this point, I am past my 6 months since I got my CDL, which means that I should be eligible to become a trainer. And I've received messages from 2 people that have watched my videos and want me to train. And going by the same logic, which is the logic that moved me from being a company driver to being a lease driver, which is the fact that a trainer makes more money, and I would be dumb to ignore that and not go for it. I should become a trainer, going by that same logic. But I've given it a lot of thought, and there's basically 3 reasons why, at least at this point in time, I am choosing not to become a trainer. I consider myself a good driver. I really haven't gotten into much trouble. I'm pretty good at backing into dogs. There's days in which I can't even straight line back. But for the most part, I have had no issues. And if the conditions, weather conditions mainly, were to stay the same all year round, I feel confident that I could train someone to at least be at my level, which is a good starting point for anyone that's going to go solo, in my opinion. But sadly, we have seasons, and seasons mean the winter. And if you guys have watched my videos in the past, I'm not scared about the winter because, if it's just not safe, I'm not going to drive, period. And but I wouldn't want to have the responsibility of training someone through those conditions. Not only because of the fact that I am not experienced enough, but also for 2 more reasons. One, I wouldn't trust someone that I don't know to drive my truck under those conditions when concerned for them, when I'm concerned about me driving in those conditions. And yeah, we can always stop the truck and just park and wait it out. But that brings me to the second reason why I wouldn't want to train, and that's because as a lease operator, I would have to pay that person. Basically, the way that Lease TNT works is that the lease owner operator hires the way it's set up is that the trainee is an employee of the lease operator, and the $900 that the lease operator that the trainee gets are deducted out from the lease owner's income. Basically, the lease owner pays $1,200 a week, from which the trainee gets $900 plus benefits and stuff. So it really, if the safety aspect isn't enough for me to choose not to train in the winter, the loss of income is definitely another reason, but that's not the primary one, as I'm saying. So my lack of experience and the winter are the main thing, or the main reason why I don't want to train. But there's two more reasons that they're really in the same level. One of them is my personal space. I am a very introverted person. I like my solitude. I like my space. I get to, sit in silence for hours and, meditate on my plans for the future. I get to listen to music. I can listen to music for hours and not get tired, or listen to a podcast and not have to talk to anyone and enjoy my time. In fact, sometimes when a family member or a friend calls me and I'm in the zone, driving and listening to whatever I'm listening to, it can even trigger me to a point where I'm upset, like they are calling me to interrupt me when they don't even know what's going on. I just get triggered like that, and that's something that I recognize, and I'm working on, and I work on it. I work on that, but I wouldn't want to subject someone else to some negative attitude that I may give them. I don't think I would, because I had a great time with my trainer, and he knows about that my mood sometimes. I just wouldn't want to subject someone to that, and I'd rather just be by myself. And I'm very comfortable right now with my Xbox in the back and my guitar in the top bunk, and having every spot in the truck full with my stuff. It would also be I would have to take some of my stuff out to make room for them. And it's not that I can't do any of those things. Again, I was able to get by through TNT without the luxuries that I have right now, and I can go back to that if I need to. But when you combine that with the lack of experience and the point that I'm gonna bring up after this, I'm comfortable enough right now with the money that I'm making and my living situation, to where I really I'd rather not do that, not make that compromise. And the other reason why I don't think I would like to be a trainer is because I don't know that I can trust someone else to drive my truck. Regardless of the conditions, summer, winter, whatever. Not necessarily because I can't trust them. That's a big factor. Hats off to all the trainers out there. Good trainer, bad trainer, call it what you want. every single one of those trainers is taking a big risk in trusting someone that is inexperienced, let alone someone they don't know, to drive their truck. Lease operators more than company, because again, a lease operator is hiring you. They are responsible for what you do. And if you crash or whatever happens when you're behind the wheel, you, the trainee, the lease owner, operator, trainer has to own that and is responsible for it. So hats off to everybody that's training under those conditions. And I mean, not to take away from company drivers that train as well. You know, those are like, whether you're a company driver or a lease driver and you're training, again, just my respect to you for trusting someone to, I mean, and I'm thankful to my trainer for that. But I also understand the risk. And it's funny, and this is a side note, my trainer would tell me how he would hear, and I've heard it too, how trainees complain because, you know, all these money that their trainer is making out of them, or like how it's not fair. And you know, my trainer told me how one of his friends, his trainee, like complained to him about all the money he was making, and he like, I don't remember if he maybe like gave him a little bit extra or whatever. But when my trainer told me that, my trainer told me that another trainee had the audacity to complain to his trainer about the money he was making versus the money that the trainee was making. I'm not gonna lie, I got triggered about that as a trainee, because I recognize the risk that these trainers are taking out on the road, training the trainees. You know, like I told him, like, why would, like, I told my trainer, like, why would I ask you for more money? You're taking all this risk for me, and you're teaching me while you're taking all this risk, you know? It really, it really baffles me that some people do this. And, well, with that being said, there's nothing wrong with a trainer that appreciates the extra money that they're making out of their trainees. And it's not making them out of their trainees, like making while training, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. If a trainer wants to recognize that, that's great. But a trainee is in no position to demand that. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, with that being said, when it comes to, you know, trainers and trainees, I also understand that, you know, there's a lot of people that train out there, and not all of them are necessarily the best trainers you can have. But again, regardless of who that person is, they are taking a huge risk by training. And I'm not sure that I'm ready to take that risk. I can definitely make the move, and I've thought about that multiple times. Like, if there's like 3 people that I would be willing to train, because it would be beneficial for the both of us. 2 friends that I have, and my dad. My dad is the number 1 person that I would love to train, because he loves driving as well. We would like, I mean, we would bond so much more. That would, I would love to do that, but sadly for my dad, I mean, you know, like, I wouldn't want to leave. I wouldn't want him to leave my mom behind. He also have to take care of my grandma, because, you know, she's up there with age. And like, I've toyed with, like, I've told my dad that I would love for him to do this with me, but I don't think that would happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. Hopefully, I mean, and with him, like, I really don't care about winters and stuff, because like at that point, like, I wouldn't mind like the losses or paying him. And that's pretty much it. I just want to mention once again that hats off to all trainers out there. I really respect the responsibility that you take, taking in a trainee. And for anyone that's watching, if you want to comment on this video, I'm curious on your thoughts about that. Let me know. Hit me in the comments. I'm actually curious on what you guys think about what I just said, like my view when it comes to training and my decision, and what your thoughts are about the whole TNT experience. And that's it. I want to thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll catch you on the next one.